Man, I love this bet. We're going to be going through the best bet for Chargers Chiefs, both teams 1-0. I'm going to be giving you my picks, my predictions for this game. So, first we can kind of look at the money line, and I'll switch my state to another state to kind of see all books side by side. The best line on the Chiefs, minus 195. On DraftKings or Come On, which is a Canadian sportsbook, or Bet Online, which is a pretty sharp offshore sportsbook. Then we have the best line on the Chargers, which is going to be plus 194 on the Betfair exchange. So the Betfair exchange is like this peer-to-peer betting site. So you're not betting against the sportsbook, you're betting against another person, right? So the Betfair exchange, you'll notice it has very low vig, very low juice as you get closer to game time. And it's a good source of information as a sports bettor, right? Line movements, things like that. And also as a bettor, right, even though I'm not located in locations that have all these sports books, I can't bet on Ladbrokes. This is a European sports book. Every sports book in the market is kind of a data point of what the odds should be set at. So I love kind of browsing the market, with every book side by side, so I can make sure all of my bets have value, right? As someone who bets on sports very seriously, it's very important to me, and it should be very important to you because everyone making money sports betting knows it's really important. So let's go ahead and let's get into the play that I have for this game. So the play I have, and I really like this bet for Thursday Night Football, is in the first half point spread, okay? So what you'll notice is most sports books have the first half spread at the Chiefs -3, right? Caesars, DraftKings, WinBet, Bet Online, Pinnacle, all have this, Chiefs -3, Chargers +3, roughly -110 juice on all sportsbooks. Although Bet Online and Pinnacle, which are two of the sharpest sportsbooks in the world, are both slightly juicing lines towards the Chargers +3, right? The Chargers +3 is -115 here, -111 here. Now what you'll notice is FanDuel is half of a point around a key number, right? 3 is a key number. They're half a point off from every sportsbook, right? From the mainline markets. They're giving us Chargers +3.5, which is a ridiculous bet, right? That's ridiculous value because if the Chiefs win or are up at the end of the first half by a field goal, our bet cashes. Everyone else in the market, if they didn't place their bet on FanDuel, their bet is pushing. So this is ridiculous value at -110. Like the probability the Chiefs, are winning at the end of the first half by 3 points is pretty high. That's a key number in football. So this is a great spot with value. DraftKings prices it in their alternate markets at -125. In Pinnacle, which is the sharpest bookmaker in the world, they're pricing this at -132. We're getting it -110. So we're getting a ton of value, and then you can kind of see, other sportsbooks are in line with DraftKings and Pinnacle, so even though they don't offer these alternates, it's pretty clear that FanDuel is just a major pricing discrepancy. So what I also kind of think is interesting to show people is, if you're betting at -110 juice, which you can see we are on FanDuel, most point spread bets are at -110 juice. Like if we actually and here's my bet, I hit it for $1,000, Chargers +3.5. -110 is if you go to NFL, right, most point spreads are going to be at -110 juice. Slight variations, -108, -112, stuff like that, but -110 is probably the most common in the market. So you're betting $11 to win back 10. That's the sportsbook's advantage on both sides of the market, the over and the under, the favorite and the underdog. You're betting $11 to win 10. So it's not really a fair trade because the sportsbook's taking 11 to only give you back 10. But regardless, what you'll notice is to be profitable betting on spreads and totals, you have to be winning your bets 52.4% of the time. If you just use an odds converter calculator, which is right here, odds converter calculator, this calculator is just, essentially tells you your break-even win rate. So if you're placing bets at -110 odds, you need to be winning 52.4% to break even. So if you're winning 55% of your point spread wagers, you're very profitable, right? Which is like the pros, the sharps. They're winning on spreads usually 55, 54, 56% of the time. And the square sports bettors are winning 50% of the time, right? Like picking a spread, there's only two options. You pick the over, you pick the under. So 50% means you have no skill. You're basically flipping coins. You're winning 50% of the time. So being able to get, find spots with value, like that bet on the Chargers plus 3.5. So let's find it very briefly. Being able to find spots with value like Chargers plus 3.5, where we're getting a whole additional half a point around such a key number to the sports betting market, is how the pros do it, right? This is how the people who bet on sports for a living make money. They find spots with value and they place bets with an edge, and they know their sportsbook has a profit margin, or they know their bet has a profit margin over the sportsbook because they're finding line discrepancies, right? They're finding where sportsbooks have stale odds or are mispricing bets, and this is only possible, it's only possible because sportsbooks have different lines from one another. This wouldn't be which is why I love sports betting, because it's fascinating. All of these bookmakers have different odds, right? DraftKings has different lines than FanDuel, has different lines than Caesars, because they all want to be unique. If sportsbooks didn't have different odds from one another, they would all be exactly the same. You wouldn't need 5 sportsbooks, right? They would have nothing to market themselves as. All their lines are the same. So because sportsbooks have different lines from one another, you're able to kind of ruthlessly compare lines between sportsbooks and find those rare opportunities where sportsbooks are slipping up, which is exactly what the Positive EV tool does for you, right? It scans all of the odds in the market, kind of like we see right here, first half point spreads, money lines, first half money lines, everything, right? Player props, and says, okay, out of all the odds in the market, where are those few spots where the sportsbooks are slipping up? In Chargers plus 3.5 at minus 110 odds is obviously one of those spots. It's the highest profit margin bet on OddsJam, 2.73%. So we hammered it for $1,000, 2.73% profit margin. Our bet is worth $27.30. That's the profit margin in dollars. Pretty simple. You just take, this number, 2.73%, and you multiply it by your stake. That's your profit margin in dollars, right? So you can see right here, 2.73% times 1,000, 27.30. And there's no magic going on here, right? There's nothing really complicated about OddsJam. It should be pretty intuitive how, people who bet on sports full time. You look for line discrepancies. You look for where one sportsbook is screwing up from the rest of the market, like FanDuel was here. And then it's either FanDuel's smarter than every other sportsbook, or FanDuel's slipping up and this bet has a lot of value. And you can see right here with the Chargers plus 3.5, when the whole rest of the market is at plus 3, it's that's a no-brainer, being able to get it at minus 110 odds, which is why we locked it in. And it's also why sports betting is really powerful, right? This game is tomorrow, so this game's on Thursday. We're earning a 2.73% return on capital, or edge. If you think about it, people invest in the stock market because they think it goes up 8% a year. That's why, any financial advisor will be like, oh, put money in the market. It'll go up over the long run. There will be some down years, but it'll go up. It's the same thing in sports betting, except these returns are for such a short period of time when you have an edge, right? 2.73% in a day. This game starts in a day. We're earning 2.73% return in a day, right? And again, just like the stock market, that's an expected return. Not every bet's going to win, but over the course of the long run, you're guaranteed to make money because you do have an edge. Your bet does have an edge. It's just math, right? Law of large numbers, that type of stuff. It's just math. If you have an edge, you make money in the long run. Pretty simple. If a coin is weighted 55% to show up on heads, if you flip it once, it's still 45% to show up on tails, but if you flip it 10,000 times, it's going to show up on heads more often because heads was weighted 55%. Right? So the goal as a sharp bettor is place as many positive EV bets as you can on a daily basis. As you can see, I try to place a bunch. And every day, you want to place as many as possible. Because you're essentially forming your own portfolio, your own hedge fund of mathematically profitable bets. You just have to place more and more and more and earn these high returns on capital on a daily basis. It's not like a get-rich-quick thing. The way to get rich sports betting is not to place these crazy, wacky parlays. It's to place bets with an edge and do it consistently and place a lot of bets and let the math, the law of large numbers, work itself out for you. So, pretty happy with this bet. Chargers plus 3.5. I added it to the sheet. And again, what I also show people is just kind of depending on your goals, you can kind of see how many bets should I be placing per day given my bet size or unit size, right? So let's say your bet size is, whatever, $75. That's your unit size, and you place 1 unit on every positive EV bet. 1 unit, 2.73%. Profit margin, and let's say your average profit margin of a bet is 2.73%. So right here we see 2.73%. So sure, let's say that's your average profit margin. You have to place, and you want to earn $800 a month, you have to place 13 bets a day, 390 bets per month. And there will be some variation from month to month. 1 month you may earn $1,000. 1 month you may earn $600. But over the course of the long run, it's going to be $800. Just the math, right? It's just math. There's no crazy stuff going on here. Then let's say, after the first month, you're like, oh, positive EV betting worked. I made money. I want to earn $2,000 now per month. So you either have to place a lot more bets or up your unit size, right? $125. Increase your unit size too. So there are really 2 variables you can move to make money sports betting. Bet more, place more bets, or bet bigger, right? That's really the 2 options. It's like if you want to know how do I make more money investing in the stock market over the course of 10 years, it's put more money in, right? So it's kind of the same way in sports betting when you have an edge. A bet with a 2.73% profit margin, you want to place as many as you can because there's a positive profit margin. And like by definition, this bet has to be profitable or this bet has to be profitable, right? Pinnacle is giving you plus 115 on Chiefs minus 3.5. So you're betting 100 to win 115 in profit. And you can get minus 110 on Chargers plus 3.5. So Chargers plus 3.5 is minus 110. Chiefs minus 3.5 is plus 115. So you can kind of think about it. You can bet $100 on Pinnacle to win 115 in profit if the Chiefs are up by 4 or more points. And you can bet $110 on the Chargers plus 3.5 to win back 100. And one of those bets is going to hit, right? This is a 2-sided, like only one bet can hit here. Either the Chiefs are covering the spread or the Chargers are. There's only one outcome possible. Out of these 2, one bet has to win, one bet has to lose by definition. So anyways, this is an incredible spot with value. There's some more videos kind of about sports betting strategies, how to make money sports betting on this channel in the end screen. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Hopefully you're able to lock in this bet with me. You're able to tail it with me. We'll ride together on the Chargers and let's make money.